You know that person in your life who ghosts their own birthday, like completely vanishes when it rolls around. Everyone else is planning parties 2 months in advance, posting countdowns on their stories, dropping hints about what they want. And this person, they're treating it like it's laundry day. No excitement, no celebration. They might not even mention it's happening. And when you find out and try to do something nice, they look at you like you just violated the Geneva Convention, genuinely distressed that you acknowledged the date they were born. Now here's what's wild. This isn't just some quirky preference. This actually reveals something deeply fascinating about how their mind works. Because the relationship someone has with their birthday exposes the architecture of their entire psychology, how they see themselves, how they experience time, how they navigate the social world. All of it's coded in that one behavior. Let me break down what's actually happening inside their head. So first, understand that birthdays are fundamentally a social contract. You celebrate mine, I celebrate yours. We all participate in this collective ritual of acknowledgement. It's how communities reinforce belonging. You matter because we say you matter, and we prove it once a year with cake and attention. But people who opt out of their birthday, they've rejected that contract entirely. And it's not because they hate themselves or they're depressed. It's because they've developed what psychologists call a stable internal identity. Their sense of self doesn't fluctuate based on external input. They don't need the world to throw them a party to confirm their existence. They already know they exist. They already know their value. The birthday ritual is just noise to them. Think about it like this. Most people's self-esteem is like a phone battery. It drains throughout the year, and the birthday is the recharge. All that attention, all those messages, it fills the tank back up. But birthday skippers, they're running on a different power source entirely. Solar panels or something, self-sustaining. They generate their own validation from within, constantly. So they never hit empty. And there's research backing this up. Studies on authenticity show that people who need less external validation tend to live more in alignment with their actual values. They're not performing for an audience. They're not managing perceptions. They just are, quietly, consistently, whether anyone's watching or not. Now, the second thing happening here is even stranger. These people experience time in a completely different way than you do. For most of us, birthdays are these massive landmarks, like mile markers on a highway. They chop your life into discrete chapters. I'm entering my 30s. I'm hitting 40. I'm in my late 20s now. Each birthday feels significant, because it represents progress or decline, or change, or whatever story you're telling yourself about aging. But birthday skippers don't see time like that at all. To them, time is this continuous flow. There's no magical difference between the day they were born and any other random Wednesday. Every single day has equal weight, equal potential, equal meaninglessness, depending on how you look at it. Psychologists call this low temporal landmark. They just don't register these arbitrary dates as important. And it's not avoidance. It's not denial about getting older. They genuinely don't feel the significance. Their brain doesn't light up when that date approaches. To them, personal growth and change happen gradually, incrementally, every single day. Not in these dramatic annual bursts. It's almost like they're living outside the normal human relationship with time. And that changes everything about how they move through life. They're not racing against the clock. They're not panicking about milestones they haven't hit. They're just existing in this eternal present moment, where yesterday and tomorrow and 17 years from now all kind of blur together into one continuous experience, which honestly sounds exhausting to most people. But to them, it's freedom. Now, here's the third piece, and this one gets into the social dynamics. Birthdays require an enormous amount of emotional labor. You have to coordinate with people, manage their expectations, act appropriately grateful when someone gives you a candle shaped like a cactus that you absolutely did not ask for and will never use. You've got to perform this role of person whose birthday it is, and that role has rules. Be happy, be surprised, be the center of attention. Make everyone else feel good about celebrating you. And people who skip their birthday, they've looked at that entire production and said, no thank you. Not because they're antisocial, not because they don't appreciate people, but because they have a limited budget for social performance, and they'd rather spend it on interactions that actually feel real. This is what psychologists call social selectivity. They're highly intentional about where they invest their social energy, and mandatory celebration rituals that exist just because the calendar says so. That doesn't make the cut. They'd rather have one genuine conversation with someone they care about than an entire room of people singing at them while they fake smile over a cake. It's actually a form of boundary setting. They're saying, I value connection, but I'm not doing connection theater. And in a world where so much of social life is performance, that's kind of radical. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because society does not like when you opt out of shared rituals. When you don't celebrate your birthday, people take it personally. They think you're depressed. They think you're rejecting them. They think something must be wrong with you because you're not participating in something everyone does. And that pressure is real. Birthday skippers often report feeling judged, misunderstood, like they have to constantly explain themselves. Why don't you celebrate? What happened to you? Did someone ruin birthdays for you as a kid? People can't just accept that maybe, just maybe, this person simply doesn't find the ritual meaningful. And that reveals something about how we use shared rituals to maintain social cohesion. When someone opts out, it threatens the group. It raises uncomfortable questions. If they don't need this, do I really need it? Am I only doing this because everyone else is? And most people don't want to sit with those questions. So instead, they pathologize the person who's different. But here's the thing. Skipping your birthday isn't pathological. It's not broken. It's just a different way of being human. Now let's zoom out for a second and talk about what all of this means. Because the birthday thing is really just the surface. Underneath, what we're actually talking about is autonomy. The ability to choose which social scripts you participate in and which ones you don't. And that's terrifying to a lot of people. Because if you can opt out of your birthday, what else can you opt out of? Weddings, holidays, the entire structure of how we're supposed to mark time and meaning. And the answer is yes. You can opt out of all of it if it doesn't serve you. But most people won't. Because opting out requires a level of internal stability that's genuinely rare. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with people thinking you're weird. You have to have a strong enough sense of self that you don't need the group's approval to feel like you're doing life right, and birthday skippers have that. Whether they developed it intentionally or it's just how they're wired, they've got it. They've built an identity that doesn't require external scaffolding. They've escaped the tyranny of the calendar. They've opted out of performance-based connection. And honestly, that's psychologically healthy. That's evolution. That's what it looks like when someone's actually individuated. But here's the shadow side. Because there's always a shadow side. Sometimes, skipping your birthday isn't about enlightened detachment from social rituals. Sometimes, it's about feeling fundamentally unworthy of celebration. Sometimes, it's about a deep, unexamined belief that you don't deserve attention or joy or to take up space. And from the outside, that can look exactly the same as the healthy version. So, if you're someone who avoids your birthday, it's worth asking yourself, why? Is it because you genuinely don't find it meaningful? Or is it because some part of you believes you're not worth celebrating? Because those are two very different psychological realities, and they require two very different responses. The healthy version is peaceful. There's no charge around it. You're not avoiding your birthday. You're just neutral about it. You might even enjoy a quiet dinner with close friends if they suggest it. There's flexibility. There's ease. The unhealthy version has tension. There's a flinch when someone brings it up. There's shame or discomfort, or a sense that you're doing something wrong by existing another year. And if that's what's happening, that's not autonomy. That's unprocessed pain wearing the mask of preference. So check in with yourself. Notice the quality of your resistance. Is it grounded or is it reactive? Because that distinction matters. Now, if you're someone who does celebrate your birthday and you're reading this thinking, wait, am I doing it wrong? Am I just externally validated and performative and trapped in social scripts? Relax, you're fine. Celebrating your birthday doesn't mean you're psychologically weak. It just means you find meaning in different things. Some people find meaning in rituals, in marking time, in gathering people together, in making a big deal out of transitions. And that's beautiful too. That's human too. There's no hierarchy here. It's just different wiring. The problem only comes when you can't tolerate someone else's difference. When you need everyone to celebrate the same way you do in order to feel secure in your own choices. That's when it becomes pathological. That's when your celebration stops being about joy and starts being about control. So here's the takeaway. If you're someone who treats your birthday like it's witness protection, you're not broken. You're wired for internal validation, continuous time perception, and selective social investment. And in a world that's increasingly performative and externally focused, that's actually a superpower. But make sure it's coming from wholeness, not wounds. Make sure you're opting out, not hiding. Because there's a difference, and only you know which one it is. And if you're someone who loves birthdays, keep loving them. Throw the party. Post the countdown. Celebrate yourself unapologetically. Just don't assume everyone else needs what you need. Don't pathologize difference. Give people the space to mark time in their own way. Because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to figure out how to be human in a world that keeps insisting there's only one right way to do it. And the truth is, there isn't. There are 1,000 ways, and your way is valid, even if it looks nothing like anyone else's. So whether you're blowing out candles or pretending the day doesn't exist, you're doing fine. Just make sure it's actually your choice, Make sure it's serving you. And make sure you're not just running on autopilot, following a script someone else wrote for you without even realizing it. Because that's the real psychology of birthdays. Not whether you celebrate or don't, but whether you're actually conscious about why you do what you do. And most people aren't. Most people are just repeating patterns they've never questioned. So question them. Get curious. Figure out what actually feels true for you, not what you think you're supposed to do, and then do that, unapologetically, whether it's a party for 50 people or complete radio silence. Both are valid. Both are human. Both reveal something fascinating about how your mind works. You just have to be brave enough to choose.